Good Monday morning from Marion, Kentucky. Today's newscast is brought to you by Marion City Councilwoman Wanda Olson, who is asking for your vote on November 5th. Olson is a one-term Marion City Council member seeking re-election to the six-member City Council. This message was paid for by Wanda Olson. In news, the community is gearing up for the groundbreaking ceremony of the new Crittenden County Judicial Center this week. That will be at 1 p.m. tomorrow on Tuesday, October 29th. It will be at the existing courthouse lawn there on Main Street. This new Judicial Center was authorized by the Kentucky General Assembly and will be paid for by the Kentucky Justice Cabinet. It was first conceived in 2020, and here we are 4 years later, getting ready to begin, first of all, tearing down the old courthouse and building a new two-story, 20,000 square foot facility that will house all of the court services. It's expected to be completed in the fall of 2026. It's about a $20 million project. So this big event on Tuesday is open to the public. Anyone can attend it. There will be Chief Justice Van Meter will be there to christen the project, I guess you might say, and Crittenden County Judge Executive Perry Newcomb and additional state and local officials are expected to attend, and some of them will be making remarks. Start making your plans right now for Saturday's Chamber of Commerce Gala. It will be at Foes Hall. If you hadn't got your tickets, contact your Crittenden County Chamber of Commerce so you can get into this event and see who all will be presented awards on Saturday night at Foes Hall. With early voting beginning this week and Election Day just 1 week from tomorrow, let's spend some time making sure we are election ready.
We're here with Clerk Darrell Tabor, and he's going to talk about frequently asked questions from the election process.
One question that we've had recently is about the Marion City Council race that has 4 write-ins. On the sample ballot that many people have seen in the newspaper and online, it shows only one line for write-ins, one option. Well, that's simply for space purposes, to reduce the amount of space on those sample ballots, but your actual ballot will have 6 spots for write-in candidates, and we have 4 for Marion City Council, so that will accommodate all of the write-ins that could potentially be elected to Marion City Council. And to mark a write-in, you just fill in the box and write the name out to the right of it. And if you're not aware of who the write-in candidates are, you need to ask the election clerk when you check in. They will show you a list of write-ins. We have write-ins for Marion City Council, Soil and Water Conservation District, and of course, President. The election clerk can show you a list. You can take a picture of it with your phone if you like, or you can jot down the names that you want to vote for, but we cannot give you the piece of paper that we have for that.
Do you get any other frequently asked questions?
Yeah, another question that we've had is that people have asked about changing their registration before this general election. And it doesn't matter for a general election what party you're registered as. You can vote for anyone on the ballot. So that's been a concern of some people.
So there's no reason to do it right now, no urgency anyway.
Right, correct.
Yeah.
There is the straight ticket question that some people have. If you vote for straight ticket, which means all one party, it's only going to cover the partisan races. It's not going to cover Marion City Council or the amendments or the cannabis questions or the 2 judges. So if you mark your straight party ticket, you need to make sure that you complete your ballot on the other races too. And just because you vote for straight party doesn't mean you can't vote for a candidate from an opposing party. So, for instance, you've got the presidential race, Congress, state Senate, state representative. If you chose, for instance, to vote Republican, straight ticket, you could still vote for a Democrat on one of the other tickets and vice versa.
On the under ticket you can?
Yes. And that vote will supersede the straight party vote.
That's interesting. I didn't know that.
So that is a question a lot of people have. So you can technically vote straight party and select another candidate from an opposing party. So that's a question that some people have.
And you're anticipating a big crowd on November 5th on Election Day, right?
Yes, I think we'll probably have what could possibly be the largest turnout, maybe not in county history because the county used to have about 15,000 people in it, but in recent history at least, one of the biggest turnouts we've ever had. And it's going to be busy on Election Day out here at the voting center. This is the only place for city voters to vote. So if you live in one of the outlying areas in one of the rural parts of the county, you might want to go to your area voting location, which is in Shady Grove, at the fire department, Repton Baptist Church, Mexico Baptist Church, and Deer Creek Baptist Church. And if you're uncertain of where you're supposed to vote, you can just come here on Election Day, or best yet, you can come here for early voting, October 31st, November 1st, and November 2nd from 8 to 4.
Of course, we are recording this actually in the room where early voting is taking place here at the county office complex, which is, some people may know it as the former Marion Ed Tech Center. It's in what we call Industrial Park South, right behind the Siemens plant, next to the health department, if you're not familiar where it's at. But no, this is the early election room. I assume during regular election day on November 5th, it will be out in the big room. Is that right?
Well, actually, this is, we're in the excused absentee phase of early voting. So you have to have a reason that you won't be here for early voting or on Election Day. Both early voting and Election Day will be held in the larger fiscal courtroom when you come into the building. And as soon as you come into the building, no matter which of the front or which of the entrances you enter, you'll see the check-in clerks there. There'll be signage that's you can't miss.
What are the best times to come if you want to try to avoid a line? I know for some people who have to work a regular shift during the day, you may not have an option, but what are the best times that the crowds may be lower?
Late morning and early afternoon, of course, 8 o'clock. Some people go to work at 9. A lot of people just get out and going at 8 o'clock. So that's going to be a busy time. The lunch 2 hours from 11 to 1 is pretty busy. And because we have 2 plants just right in this vicinity and the schools that get off at 3 and 3:30, the end of the day for early voting is going to be probably pretty busy. So I would say between 9 and 11 and 1 and 3 are your best times to come vote for early voting. And on Election Day, 6 o'clock is going to be very busy, again, lunchtime, and then the close of the day from 4:30 on is usually pretty busy. But for early voting and for Election Day, as long as you're in line, by the time we close, you will get to vote. Even if there are 100 people in front of you, if you're in line, you'll be able to vote either day if you're here by the time that we close.
All right, and the unexcused voting, early voting begins on Thursday, right? Halloween Day.
Halloween Day.
Yeah,
yes.
Okay. And then November 1st, which is Friday, and then Saturday. Now, is the office going to be open here all day on Saturday? Someone will be here to allow voting?
Yes, someone will be here all day, and we're not going to do any motor vehicle transactions or other transactions, just simply voting on Saturday. But yes, there will be people staffed here all day. And also on Election Day, our office will be closed to all but election traffic.
To everything except electric traffic?
Yes.
Yeah, so you can't change registration on your car because
Correct.
all your hands are on deck for the election?
Yes, we're completely focused on this election, which is probably the biggest in history. And one other thing, if I could, about voting on the ballots, you do not have to answer every race on the ballot. If you want to just vote for president or just city council, that's all you have to vote for. When you put your ballot into the machine to scan it, it is going to kick it back out and ask you if you want to skip the other races, and you can simply tell it to accept, and it will record your vote for the race that you voted in.
All right, Darrell Tabor, Crittenden County Clerk in charge of elections. Thank you for your time, Darrell.
Thank you, Chris.
I want to remind you that the Crittenden Press is your election headquarters. Find answers to your questions in your local newspaper so that you can be election ready when you step into the polls. In obituaries, Jerry Wayne Bebout, 71, of Lola, passed away Friday, October 25th. Boyd Funeral Directors and Cremation Services is in charge of arrangements. In sport, you have probably already heard that the Rockets lost their final district game on Friday, 36-27 at Caldwell County. They will play Friday at home against Callaway. It will be senior night, and that will close out the regular season. The Lady Rockets cross-country team, comprised of Mary Martinez, Ella Whitney, Presley Potter, Taylor Hare, and Hannah Whitney, qualified for the state cross-country meet, which will be Saturday at Kentucky Horse Park in Lexington. Also qualifying from Crittenden County was senior boy Asa McCord and sophomore River Rogers. So the Lady Rockets entire team qualified as Mary Martinez and Ella Whitney each had top 15 finishes. McCord and Rogers will qualify as individuals. You can read a lot more about the cross-country results from the regional tournament last weekend. That was the qualifying tournament. You can read about that in the Crittenden Press. In Crittenden Outdoors, bullfrog season ends on Thursday. You may not have even realized it was still going on. It started way back in May. We have only one local meeting to tell you about, and that's this evening at 4 p.m. at Deer Lakes Meeting Room down in Salem. It will be the Crittenden-Livingston Water District. So we hope you're finding some value in these newscasts that we are providing 3 days a week, and would ask that you share your thoughts with us and share them with your friends and tell them about this podcast. We would like to create a very large audience listening to this. I remind you that today's newscast has been brought to you by Marion City Councilwoman Wanda Olson, who asked for your vote on November 5th or earlier, because early voting, as you've learned, starts this week. Olson is a one-term council member seeking re-election to the 6-member city council. This message has been paid for by Wanda Olson. And this has been Chris Evans reporting for the Crittenden Press.